Poetry is not what we do. Poetry is who we are. We live poetry. We eat poetry. We make love to
This love is 3D. We're at the confluence of technology. Our souls meet like two streams, sharing each
Time
other's
waits for
dreams.
no one, so why should we wait for time? Life's a continuous race. You can't slow down, man, even when you see the
Where
finish
were
line.
you when I sat in the labyrinths of the dark night, cooking words like a chef making
To
fish
change
stew?
the words to eat and dress in a style that define you without thinking what the round table people would think
My
about
ink
you.
don't go astray like bodyguard son. They squander all my thoughts inside this brain bank. It don't lose guard.
Why do the old folks think they know everything? You fail to understand you're not living the times I'm living in. You can see from the start, with 30 years apart, I have new blood while you're still sustained by an old heart.
Without which you would have never existed.
Because she does not love him, they forced her to get married to that husband, and at the end of the day, she killed her. And I read the news. I just had to write something about it because a lot of our girls are suffering, but we are still calling for the guy at the top to bring back our girls, still the ones within us we can't even protect. I raised my mind to the level of the sky in hope to meet hope, but hope was murdered before I can remember what I was hoping for still. All I gotta do is keep hoping because I don't know how to stop hoping. I'm only human. We just have to keep hoping even when nothing is happening. But what if I lose my mind to the fear that silence has stopped me after losing my life to the brutality that my country has stopped me? Like knowing your rights is a crime. Being alive is not right. Nothing is ever close to being right. Then why were we all ushered in here at the first place if knowing when and now to die is the real race? I thought I heard my government teacher say the word franchise means when a citizen is above 18, he or she have the right to vote or to be voted for, or maybe the right of a citizen is the first topic in a government textbook, or everything about rights is our country's taboo. I don't know. But I do know that the moment a baby is born, his or her own fear has been designed for him or her to nurse, like many of us who crawl through childhood but never experienced it because our childhood was stolen from us. For real confirmation, just peruse the skirt of Wasila Tasi, you discover that our childhood was raped by our own parents, by a grown man born some centuries ago. So how can an angel be divine when divinity was torn from the inside? It seems like we are all born here to grow up and find our own foe and rise to die for others to keep blaming death as the monster. Well, the real monster, the ends that donate little kids to torture, they are the monster, so don't try to blame death. Even death is a victim. Even death is a victim. The time for death to emerge is the only mystery that arrests the uncertainty. Yes. Knowing you're right is a crime. Being alive is not right. Nothing is ever close to being right. Then why were we all ushered in here at the first place if knowing when and how to die is the real race? They told us that we committed our right and we believed them. We believe them, so we sit back at the comfort of our own hell and keep watching as our country is splitting on our eyes, on blogs and websites, and keep watching bourgeoisies as they fly high when there's nowhere to go. Still, we keep shouting out our lungs for who to bring back the girls to where. The other chapter of doom or the next sin of abuse, please. Even the ones within our reach, we can't even protect, like the little girl who feels justice lives only on her own palms, since our own hell was designed for her by our own parent. Because knowing you're right is a crime. Being alive is not right. Nothing is ever close to being right. Then why were we all ushered in here at the first place, even knowing when and now to die is the real race? We want our girls back, right? That's why we keep straining our eyes to see even if a little bit of love will be rained down, and the ones within our reach is waiting to clock 18 for her to be gunned down now. It is clear that life has an obvious rival. That's why Negroes speak of river and I speak of freedom. They speak of bomb and we speak of lost. No one is innocent. No matter how close to heaven you feel your character is, we all are still living like bunches of fear melting into confusion. But we choose to live like crowd of dead souls waiting on God to control us. But God is no puppeteer. If truly we want to embrace a better place, it doesn't start with believing in God. It starts with believing in God and working with our fingers. Thank you. This one is titled Living with My Father. Living with my father would be so much better because it will solve for me the puzzle of knowing God without me finding God in anything odd. But I think that God is the classification of all good things and all good deed and everything odd. Not an imaginary white-skinned, white-bearded man that sits in heaven. God is the mystery unsolved by humans that makes us even not in the direction for throne or title, but in the definition of nature that says all human faith lies on the palm of death. It may be nature's blast, broken cord, plane crash, Boko's bomb. We all will walk into the catacombs of death someday, one day. Allahu Akbar. You are the greatest. The mystery unsolved by science. Astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. Forgive my sins and conviction of who you are. That is if I carry the wrong notion of you living in a soul to give us the freedom to discover the truth in lies and the lies in truth and the brain to reason the meaning of stories inscribed in the holy books. Astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. Living with my father. I'll know the texture of trousers. I'll know how to use powder, and the mindset of being more than a woman is something you must murder. For after growing up from an infant to know God, next is learning to be a good wife. And the definition of a good wife is a woman who can keep calm when being deprived. A woman who can live her own life inside the prison of a crewman. A woman who can pretend life is sweet and cool when she knows deep down her mind, her heart never stops bleeding, and her soul is consumed by fire. A good wife to my father is the one who can wear the long skirt, long veil, who know nothing to do in bad situation but to wait on her husband to decide her fate. But I literally don't want to be like those ladies who make the man feel like a pen that needs to solve every problem or get frustrated because his family needs some food and fees for school and the rent is still unattended to. With my father, I'll know more and fast of his ability like better because Asa wa Jalla give us never lack. It taught us how to remember those who need our helping hands the way we all today needs consciousness. I love my father. His heart and ability to defend what he believes in made him stand out. The way he thought us to allow kindness to flow through our bloodline made him one of a kind, but there are things that he's never going to get right. Like failing to admit the fact that parents are meant to be their kids' teacher, not a master to impose decisions on their sons and daughters, when it's crystal clear that the so-called kids know a lot better when it comes to who they want to be. But what are parents compelling the kids to take the routes they took in the field? This question may seem rhetoric, but it's a question that we must answer, that we need to answer. I love my father. His blindness made me see beyond yonder. His disapproval has made me stronger, but imprisoned me into the thought of wanting a new father. But parents and kids are a decision you can never make, a gene you can never break. The only solution to take is for you to define your own philosophy, imprison your mind from false prophecy, and walk your own road with your own feet. A father can only be a father, can't carry your heart for you. It can feel your own pains for you. It is super awkward to think someone can define your life for you, but why was I bestowed a brain if you had to do the thinking for me?
There is God.